Good morning, Commanders. How are you doing today? Hopefully you all are doing very well. Hopefully you are enjoying the ARC and figuring some of this new stuff out. It is very good for Scopely to give us some additional tokens to the Mirror Universe, where we can do some exploring and actually complete some of these events. So in today's video, I want to cover some more strategies, talk about the research, give you my suggestions. I've talked with a couple of players, talking with them this morning, trying to find out some good strategies for doing some of this for my ops level. But I found out some information and I thought, you know what, this is helpful information. I need to get this out in a YouTube video to share with you all. So feel free to share this with everyone in your alliance if you think it's helpful. So jump into it. But once again, if you're new, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps to grow the YouTube channel and beat the YouTube algorithm so I can, get this out there and help out as many people as I can. Hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit the bell notification so you're kept aware of future content. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's jump into it. So let me pull up first here, because the discussion that we had this morning when we were talking about mining is, at what point is mining worth it? What kind of ship do you need to have? What kind of research level do you need to have? And personally, I was thinking initially, you know what, I'm going to need to max out this mining thing so I can get the Trillium A and D. I was able to find a system, and I'll show you a chart in a minute that may help some of you if you're struggling with this aspect of it. But I was able to find a system where I could hit hostiles in between what I was getting by hitting the hostiles and the loot boxes. And obviously, as we've talked about before in the community and in my last video, that the loot boxes is where you're going to get the most of your materials from. But I was able to find out that a system that worked for me for the Trillium A, but the Trillium D, I thought, I'm going to need to mine that. Let's max out the mining. And so I want to talk about that and talk about it in a way that hopefully is helpful to you so you can look at it, because depending upon your ops level, this may be a good option for you, it may not. So here's a chart that was put together by various people in the community. We've got Jules Verne, Quasel, Blue Mandalorian, and the Star Trek Fleet Command community. So thank you so much for each of you for working so hard and gathering this data. So it looks like these are the different levels of the mining research, and we'll take a minute and just a second here. After we cover this, we'll talk about some things and we'll look at the research, and I'll give you, based upon this information, the discussions that I've had, where I think you should focus your time and your effort in the research tree, and talk about that and how to make that efficient for you. So what we're looking at here is we've got these 9 levels of research. The first 3 are for Ops 40, and I will pause here really quick and say it's always possible that Scopely will make some adjustments, but this is as of today. So if you're watching this at a later date, that may impact what decision you may make. But based upon this, first 3 are Ops 40, next 3 are Ops 51, and the 7, 8, and 9 are 61 plus. You'll have to look at this, and this says 15 minutes of mining with research levels, and that's obviously, you have a 20-minute timer as you're going into these systems, and it takes you a few minutes with a warship, but miners are slower, so make an assumption here that's going to take you 5 minutes to actually get to a node and actually mine. So 15 total minutes of mining before it kicks you out. And based solely upon this here, even if you're in the Ops 50 levels, like if you're in the Ops 40, you can get so little, it looks like here. Ops 51 plus, even if you have it maxed, it's still, I've been able to take mine. I took my tier 5 Sanctus in with a loot crew. I was able to get like 120,000, I think it was, of the Trillium A in a level 55 system. The Trillium D is another story. I'd have to look at those numbers, but it looks from here, from this chart, that mining is gonna only be really a good option if you're 61 plus. So if you're 61 plus, that's probably something you could research and work towards. So that would be a good option. And I don't know what the turn-ins are like there, but it seems like 61 plus is where your mining is going to be most useful. Okay, before we hop into the research tree and talk about that, I put this in my Discord, so feel free to join my Discord so you can get access to this. It's also in various other Discords by now. I'm sure people are showing it left and right. It's a really good chart. But I wanted to share this. I've also posted this link in my Discord, the data that has been collected. There's a vast array of information. They've got here the different systems where you can find the loot, talking about the areas, the common, the uncommon, the costs. All these things are very, very useful information. See, there is the mining strategy chart as well. But I put this link. Feel free to go to my Discord and find it there. But what I would do based upon your ops level and where you need to hit, you can have a look and say, okay, I need to get Trillium A, I need to get Trillium D. What systems can I go and hit hostiles? A very useful chart. It will show the loot, how much you get in the chest when you're hitting the hostiles. Very, very, very good information. And we did talk about how some of the systems have these FKR parts and faction credits. So that could be something you may want to consider if you have extra tokens and plenty, after you stocked up on plenty of the Trillium A and Trillium D, maybe you use your tokens to go to those systems as another benefit. So anyways, that's something to look at for sure. Okay, let's hop into the research tree. Let's talk about that real quick. I'll give you my opinions and thoughts and information that I learned from my discussions I had this morning. So if we go into the research tree, I would say there's 4 researches that you really want to look at and focus on. You have this common apex barrier versus mirror hostiles. You've got this common survey Trillium mining. You have the mirror refinery advancement, and you have the common mirror hostile loot. One player commented that they had, I think they said they'd maxed this for their ops level, and they only saw like a 6% reduction in damage taken. So while it's valuable and will help with a few hostiles, especially maybe if you're punching up, that this seems to be like it's going to be not that much of an impact when you're looking at your research. And obviously I had to do one to unlock these others. So that I would say is not high priority. The survey, unless you're 61 plus, I would say not a high priority. The 2 I would recommend focusing on is the mirror refinery advancement, which is going to increase the payouts in the refinery and the cost. And then also the hostile loot. Now it looks like I can do the hostile loot. I'm going to try to probably focus on the refinery advancement, get as much of that as I can for my ops level. But these 2 right here are the ones that I would highly recommend that you focus on first. Okay. One more thing to mention when we talk about turn-ins, okay? Another discussion that I had this morning was that the way you want to kind of approach this is through using this trade down feature right here. And that the largest cost initially, and what's really going to help your gameplay to increasing your refinery payouts and to unlocking those initial researches that we talked about, the loot and the refinery payouts, is getting as much common as you can. So while it seems like it's going to be a big pain to get these at a later date, that you may struggle getting these, I would, what I'm trying to say is you don't want to worry so much about this. It seems like trading down your epic to rare and your rare to uncommon, your uncommon to common is going to really help you if we hop back into the research tree. Because what you're going to want to do is get this mirror refinery advancement for your payouts and cost and your loot. as high as you can, because that's going to be what's going to project you and move you forward in this loop more than anything else. And while a lot of this other stuff is going to be tempting, try and max out these two as much as you can for your ops level before you do anything else. Once again, this caveat is gonna go, I'm gonna throw this out there, that always depends upon your research and your ops level. So that's why I wanted to try and give this information, put it out there so you can make an informed decision. Hopefully it helps you plan better for your current ops level and what you're trying to accomplish. So hopefully this helps. Just a quick video to point out some things that I've learned. I wouldn't focus on the mining unless you're 61 plus. It just seems like a waste to me, and that the bulk of what you're going to get is from doing these researches and the strategies we've talked about in this video, and to really focus on just hitting the hostels as many as you can, those 20-minute window, and that 20-minute window, and you'll have to play with it. You know, based upon your ship, you might be able to go to a higher level system and get more loot from those hostels. But it's going to depend. You're going to have to play with it, go to a higher level system, and compare it with, okay, I spent 20 minutes and I got this much from this system. If I punch up to a higher level system, can that work? So that's something you'll have to consider. One thing that someone did give me, I'll just throw this crew out there in case this is something that is helpful to you all. But as a punch-up crew, let me find the group. So I was recommended to use, I think I've got I've got data on this other crew. Hold on. Let me speed this up and I'll show you the crew visually so you can see it. And you'll have to ignore my below decks. Just talking about the bridge right now. Where is Mbegna? There we go. So Mbegna, Epic, or not Epic, I sometimes say Epic when I see the E. E data, and then let's find him. I can't remember if he might be on the Impulse Speed crew. No. All right, we'll just find him by name. Sorry about that. I can't remember. I know he's part of the, it's Rima. I wanted to point him out as a possibility that you may want to consider testing and seeing how he works for you. But it was this crew right here. So you've got Mbegna. We'll go over just the abilities here. He's increasing your mitigation. He's going to heal your shield, which isn't as, I guess, impactful. But E data for his isolytic damage. And then this one, to be honest, I completely forgot about Rima, probably because I haven't used them for so long. The start of each round, if the ship has a hull breach, he adds 20% to critical hit chances. So we know these hostels are applying hull breach to your ship, and so he's going to immediately have a huge boost to your critical chances, while Hugh is kind of gearing up and increasing your critical chances as well. So try this crew. This might be helpful to you as well. So just throw that out there, and hopefully that is something that may be helpful if you're trying to punch up to a higher level system. So hopefully this is helpful. Throw that out there. If you have any other questions, please let me know. But keep learning, keep growing, keep having fun, and don't let Scopely tell you how to play this game. And we'll see you next time.